Let's not waste a single moment. Let's get straight to it. How many of us are truly living our lives with intensity, focus, and purpose? I'm not talking about surviving the day or crossing things off a to-do list. I'm talking about waking up with intention, with a deep internal fire that fuels you more than any caffeine ever could. A passion to grow, to evolve, and to show up as your best self every single day. If that's the kind of life you want, if you crave that sense of clarity and direction, then what I'm about to share with you is exactly what you need. I've got 9 powerful Stoic principles that aren't just philosophical ideas. They're practical tools designed to sharpen your thinking, elevate your mindset, and connect you with the strongest version of who you really are. These principles will ground you, energize you, and teach you how to rise above the chaos in our fast-paced modern world with calm, confidence, and purpose. So if you're looking for a daily routine that keeps you focused, strengthens your spirit, and unlocks your full potential, stick with me. Because in this video, we're going to break down 9 timeless Stoic truths that will help you lead a more powerful and purposeful life. Every morning, the moment your eyes open, remind yourself of this unshakable truth: I am capable. This isn't just a phrase, it's a mindset, a powerful affirmation of the strength that already lives within you. In a world that constantly tries to measure you by your flaws or setbacks, this is your anchor. It's not arrogance, and it's not false confidence. It's the steady belief that no matter what comes your way, chaos, pressure, doubt, you have what it takes to handle it. You have the tools, the wisdom, and the resilience to rise, to respond, and to move forward with clarity. This mindset isn't about pretending life is easy. It's about acknowledging that life is unpredictable and choosing to meet it with courage anyway. When you declare, I am capable, you're rejecting every limitation and label the world has tried to put on you. You're refusing to be defined by your past or anyone else's expectations. Instead, you're planting your feet firmly in your own truth. This belief doesn't just change how you see yourself, it changes how you carry yourself, how others respond to you, and how confidently you walk through life. Every time doubt creeps in, and it will, this affirmation becomes your compass, guiding you back to your center. You stop reacting and start leading. And in doing so, you inspire others to do the same. How many times have you told yourself, I can't, before even trying? How often do we trap ourselves in a loop of hesitation and fear, waiting for the stars to align before we take action? Here's the truth the Stoics knew long before us. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are the architect of your response. I shape my reality is not just a statement. It's a radical shift in how you view your power. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. And that's exactly what this principle calls us to do. To stop handing over the steering wheel of our lives to fear, doubt, or convenience, and to reclaim it with both hands. Your reality is not simply what happens to you. It's how you choose to see it, respond to it, and grow from it. If you perceive obstacles as dead ends, then that's all they'll ever be. But if you view them as stepping stones, challenges that were placed before you to refine your spirit, everything begins to change. Suddenly, life is not something happening to you. It becomes something unfolding for you. Each moment becomes an opportunity to rise, to grow stronger, to choose your next step with clarity. This principle doesn't mean denying pain, setbacks, or hardships. On the contrary, it means looking them in the eye and saying, you won't define me. It means owning your story and becoming the author of your next chapter. When you decide that you shape your reality, you stop waiting for perfect timing. You stop relying on permission. You start creating moments instead of waiting for them. You begin to mold your life with every decision you make, how you speak, how you carry yourself, how you show up for others and for yourself. And what happens when you live this way? You become bold. You take risks not recklessly, but with conviction. You bounce back from failure faster because you no longer see failure as a verdict, but as valuable feedback. You open yourself up to possibilities you didn't think were meant for you, because now you realize they are. The lens through which you see the world begins to shift, and when that happens, your world expands with it. I shape my reality becomes your daily truth, and with it, you walk through life not as a passenger, but as the unwavering force behind the wheel. Every morning as the light touches your face, speak this truth into existence. My path is clear. These 4 words are not a denial of life's chaos. They are a declaration that even in chaos, clarity can be chosen. We live in a time where distractions are endless, where the noise of the world pulls us in 1,000 directions and where confusion often feels like the default. But the Stoics remind us that clarity is not given. It's created. It starts with intention. When you rise each day and affirm that your path is clear, you are setting a powerful tone that no matter how unpredictable the world is, you know who you are and you know where you're headed. This isn't about pretending life won't throw you off course. It will. Obstacles, rejections, setbacks, they're all part of the journey. But a clear path doesn't mean a straight path. It means you know your destination so deeply that even when the road twists and turns, you don't lose your direction. You stay centered, grounded. You adjust your steps, but never your purpose. The Stoics would say that the obstacle becomes the way, not the end of the way. So instead of viewing difficulties as reasons to stop, you begin to see them as part of the process, necessary friction that shapes you into something stronger, more refined, more resilient. When you remind yourself that your path is clear, you're not lying to yourself. You're focusing your mind, you're telling your inner critic to sit down and letting your inner guide speak up. It's like tuning out static so you can finally hear the melody beneath it. This clarity gives your actions meaning. It helps you prioritize what matters and eliminate what doesn't. It's what turns your day from a blur into a blueprint. You stop chasing every opportunity and start walking with purpose, with discipline, and with peace. And most importantly, clarity liberates you from the heavy baggage of regret and fear. You no longer carry the weight of yesterday's failures or tomorrow's uncertainties. You walk forward lighter, stronger, and more aware. So when you say my path is clear, you're not claiming perfection, you're claiming direction. And in a fast-paced world that constantly demands your attention, choosing clarity is a radical, powerful act. It allows you to move with confidence even when the fog rolls in. Because deep down you know this truth. Your steps are aligned, your vision is alive, and your path, no matter how winding, is absolutely yours to walk. Say this to yourself not just once, but as a living mantra. I grow stronger daily. Let the words settle into your bones, because this isn't about instant transformation or sudden perfection. It's about compounding strength day by day, choice by choice. The Stoics understood something we too often forget in today's instant results culture. True growth is quiet. It's patient. It happens not in giant leaps, but in small decisions repeated consistently over time. You may not notice your growth each day, but when you look back, you'll see how far you've climbed. That's what makes this principle so empowering. It gives you permission to be human while challenging you to be better. Growth is rarely comfortable. Some days you'll feel on fire, focused, inspired, unstoppable. Other days will feel like you're dragging yourself uphill through fog and doubt. And yet, both days count. Both days matter. Because I grow stronger daily doesn't mean only when you're winning. It means especially when you're struggling. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, truth over convenience, action over excuse, you're growing. Every time you reflect instead of react, you're sharpening your wisdom. And even on the days you feel like you're standing still, remember, healing counts as growth. Resting with intention counts as growth. Choosing not to quit, that's growth. The beauty of this mindset is that it releases you from the impossible demand of perfection. You stop punishing yourself for not being there yet, and instead you start appreciating the power of your direction. You begin to understand that setbacks aren't failures, they're friction, and friction builds strength. You learn to extract lessons from each challenge, and with each lesson, you evolve. This is the Stoics' path. Not chasing pleasure, not avoiding pain, but enduring with courage, improving with grace, and showing up again tomorrow, stronger than today. So when you declare, I grow stronger daily, you are not just reminding yourself of progress. You are rewriting your internal story. You stop identifying as someone trying to make it and start becoming someone who already is. And that shift changes everything. You become more compassionate with yourself, more patient with your process, and more proud of your persistence. Even your smallest actions begin to hold weight because you know they're part of something greater. And that mindset, it becomes unshakable. Because if you are growing stronger daily, then no hardship, no delay, and no obstacle can stop what's already in motion, your transformation. When you say, I commit to excellence, you're doing more than setting a goal. You're setting a standard. A personal contract with yourself that mediocrity is no longer welcome in your life. Excellence isn't about perfection. It's not about being better than someone else or impressing the world. It's about giving your best every single day, regardless of who's watching. It's about raising the bar, not to gain praise, but because deep down, you know you're capable of more. The Stoics taught that virtue lies in effort, in discipline, in the unwavering pursuit of your highest potential. And this commitment? It aligns you with that truth. This is not a loud commitment. It's quiet, consistent. It's made in the small, invisible choices. The way you speak, the way you listen, the way you handle stress when no one's around to applaud your strength. It's made in those moments when the easy thing tempts you, but you choose the right thing instead. And those moments stack. They build character. They forge a version of you that can't be shaken by failure or flattery. You don't just do excellent things, you become someone who moves through life with integrity, sharp focus, and purpose. And yes, it's hard. Excellence requires sacrifice. While others take shortcuts, you stay the course. While others complain, you correct. While others blame, you build. This is the essence of Stoic strength, to live aligned with your values even when the world pulls you in other directions. Committing to excellence means you're not interested in excuses anymore. You're not interested in waiting for motivation. You act not because it's easy, but because you decided. And that decision repeated daily turns into an identity. You begin to notice it in the way you carry yourself, the calm in your voice, the control in your thoughts. You become a force, someone others look to not because you're loud, but because you're consistent. You no longer need validation because your own effort becomes the proof of your worth. And here's the beauty of it. Excellence becomes a habit. It becomes how you operate, even on hard days. You stop measuring success by trophies and start measuring it by how you show up when no one's keeping score. So when you say, "I commit to excellence," make it a sacred vow. Let it echo in your mind each morning and guide your actions each night. Because this commitment doesn't just elevate your work, it elevates your life. It turns ordinary routines into rituals of purpose. It turns effort into evolution. And over time, it shapes you into the kind of person who not only chases greatness, but quietly lives it day after day. There's a moment in every day, sometimes several, when the mind whispers, "Not today." It offers an excuse, a way out, a subtle invitation to take the easy path. But when you live by the Stoic principle, excuses do not define me, you stop answering that voice. You recognize it, you hear it, but you refuse to let it lead, because you know that every excuse, no matter how convincing, is a wall standing between you and your potential. It's a comfort trap. And comfort, if left unchecked, becomes the silent killer of dreams. The Stoics understood this. That's why they placed such emphasis on responsibility, on the power of owning your actions, regardless of the circumstances around you. You see, excuses often feel harmless. "I'm tired. It's not the right time. I'm just not ready." These aren't just words. They're beliefs disguised as logic. But if you repeat them enough, they become part of your identity, and that identity begins to shrink. You become a person who waits instead of acts, who hesitates instead of moves. But not anymore. When you declare that excuses do not define you, you're drawing a line in the sand. You're telling yourself, "I choose to define my life by my discipline, not my distractions." Living without excuses doesn't mean being perfect. It means being honest. Brutally honest. With your time, your energy, your fears. It means looking at the areas where you've been hiding from growth and saying, "That ends now." You stop outsourcing blame and start owning outcomes. Because once you realize that the same energy it takes to make an excuse can be used to make progress, you start shifting. Every excuse you deny is a vote for the person you're becoming. Every hard decision you make in favor of your growth sends a message to your subconscious. I am not here to play small. You begin to see the difference in how you handle obstacles. Instead of asking, "Why me?" you ask, "What now?" Instead of feeling sorry for yourself, you get to work. You become more resilient, more adaptive, more relentless. And in time, you become the kind of person who others admire. Not because you talk about goals, but because you live them. You stop being limited by circumstances and start being liberated by choice. So let this be your creed. Excuses do not define me. I define myself through action, through perseverance, through grit. I rise above temptation. I silence the noise. And I remember that the path of excellence is not paved with ease. It's paved with ownership. And every step I take in that direction is a step away from the old me and toward the person I'm meant to become. Pause for a moment and let this truth wash over you. I am designed for greatness, not someday, not maybe, right now, in this moment. This is not ego speaking, this is self-realization. This is the voice inside of you that refuses to settle, the voice that aches for more, not because it wants to impress the world, but because it knows there's more inside you to give. Greatness isn't about being the loudest in the room or the most followed on a screen. It's about living with purpose, operating from your values, and realizing that your life is not random. It's intentional. You are here for a reason. And that reason isn't survival. It's impact. The Stoics believed that we are all born with unique capabilities, what they called our essential nature. Your task is to uncover it, refine it, and unleash it. That means you stop shrinking to fit spaces that were never meant for you. You stop watering yourself down to keep others comfortable, and instead you start owning your brilliance, not with arrogance, but with responsibility. Because if you are designed for greatness, then it is your duty to pursue it, to become the version of yourself that your younger self dreamed about and your future self will thank you for. This belief changes everything. It changes how you view setbacks, because now they're not signs to stop, they're signs to grow. It changes how you view opportunities, not as strokes of luck, but as doors you were always meant to walk through. And it changes how you treat your time, because when you know you're here for something bigger, you stop wasting hours on distractions that don't align with your mission. You focus, you prioritize, you move with fire in your chest and purpose in your step. And when doubt creeps in, and it will, you don't ignore it. You confront it. You remind yourself, I was not put on this earth to play small. You weren't made to blend in. You weren't made to repeat the same year of your life 75 times and call it a legacy. You were made to expand, to build, to elevate. You were made to change the lives of those around you by being bold enough to live fully into yours. This belief in your own design, your own greatness, isn't about pressure. It's about permission. You give yourself permission to rise, to lead, to inspire, and to keep going even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. Because you've seen what happens when you dim your light, and now you're choosing to shine. Greatness isn't just a result, it's a way of being. It's how you wake up, how you treat others, how you handle setbacks. It's how you live when no one's watching. So say it again, louder this time. I am designed for greatness, and every choice I make today will reflect that truth. In a world overflowing with noise, opinions fly at you from every angle. Social media, strangers, co-workers, even the people closest to you. Everyone has a perspective on who you should be, what you should do, and how you should live. But when you root yourself in the Stoic mindset, external opinions do not sway me. You reclaim something sacred, your peace, your power, your autonomy. You stop letting other people's voices turn down the volume on your own, and instead you begin living from the inside out. This principle doesn't mean arrogance. It doesn't mean you're deaf to feedback or blind to growth. It means you filter every voice through the lens of your values, your principles, and your truth. The Stoics taught us that true strength is self-mastery, being governed not by praise or criticism, but by reason and virtue. Marcus Aurelius put it simply, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." That contradiction ends the moment you decide, I am no longer ruled by the approval or disapproval of others. When you live by this, something extraordinary happens. You begin to move with clarity. Your decisions no longer bend to the fear of judgment. Your dreams no longer shrink under the weight of someone else's disbelief. And your confidence no longer fluctuates based on whether or not someone claps for you. You understand that freedom isn't doing whatever you want. It's being who you are, unapologetically, consistently, and truthfully. And the more you live in that truth, the stronger your inner citadel becomes, an unshakable core of self-respect and resilience that no outside force can penetrate. Of course, the temptation to conform will always exist. It's easy to be swayed by likes, comments, or silence. But when you remind yourself daily that external opinions do not sway me, you shift your attention inward. You begin asking better questions. Am I acting with integrity? Is this aligned with my values? Will I be proud of this choice tomorrow? And that internal compass becomes the only validation you truly need. You stop seeking applause and start seeking alignment. This shift is what creates true leaders, not because they're louder, but because they're rooted. Not because they have all the answers, but because they trust themselves to keep asking the right questions. So when someone doubts you, misunderstands you, or criticizes your path, let it pass. Let it roll off your shoulders like rain on armor, because you know who you are. You know why you're here. And nothing anyone says can strip away a truth you've built from the inside out. Say it with certainty. External opinions do not sway me. I walk my own path. I listen to my own conscience. I am guided not by noise, but by purpose. Right here, right now. This is all we ever truly have. The past is a memory, the future a vision. Yet we spend most of our lives caught between them, clinging to regrets or reaching for what's not yet arrived. But the Stoics knew something profoundly simple. The present moment is sacred. When you say, I embrace the present moment, you're choosing to step fully into your life. Not tomorrow, not someday, now. It's an act of courage in a world that constantly tries to pull your attention in every direction, but this one. Embracing the present moment doesn't mean ignoring your past or forgetting your future. It means you stop being ruled by them. It means you use the lessons of yesterday as fuel and the hopes of tomorrow as direction. But you plant your feet right here in the only place you can actually make change. You stop replaying that mistake for the 100th time. You stop worrying about what's still out of reach. You breathe. You ground yourself. And you remember, life is happening now, not later, not when things are perfect, not when you finally figure it all out. The Stoics trained their minds to remain anchored, even amidst chaos, because they understood that if your mind is always elsewhere, you miss the gift that is this very moment. You miss the joy of small victories, the chance to listen deeply, the clarity that comes only when you are fully present. But when you choose presence, something magical happens. Your mind sharpens, your emotions settle, your decisions carry more weight. Even ordinary moments begin to feel rich with meaning. Your morning coffee, the sound of laughter, the feel of sunlight, the silence between breaths. These become your reminders that you are alive, that you are here, that you are enough. Embracing the present is not passive, it's active. It means choosing to meet life with open eyes and an open heart. It means when fear shows up, you don't run, you sit with it. When joy arrives, you don't rush past it, you savor it. It means being fully engaged, not halfway anywhere. And in that presence, you'll find something you've been searching for all along: peace. Not the kind that comes from external calm, but the kind that's born from internal acceptance. You are not behind, you are not broken. You are exactly where you need to be, to grow, to learn, to lead. So, say it with clarity and conviction. I embrace the present moment. I will no longer let yesterday steal my joy or tomorrow steal my focus. I choose to live here. Now, because this moment, this breath, is the foundation for everything that comes next. You've just walked through 9 Stoic principles, each one a compass pointing you toward a life of clarity, strength, and purpose. But here's the truth. Watching this video is only the beginning. These ideas are powerful not because they sound good, but because they work when you live them. And now, you've got the tools. You've got the mindset. You've got the fire. So don't let this energy fade once the screen goes dark. Let it carry into the choices you make today, the way you carry yourself, the way you speak to others, the way you show up when no one's watching. The world around you may stay chaotic. There will still be stress, setbacks, criticism, temptation. But you'll be different now. You'll be grounded in I am capable, rooted in I shape my reality, lit up by I grow stronger daily, and shielded by external opinions do not sway me. These aren't just affirmations, they're armor, they're anchors, they're guiding lights in a noisy world that often tries to dim yours. So keep showing up, keep practicing, keep returning to these truths every morning, especially when it's hard. Progress isn't always loud, it's often quiet, personal, and unseen. But day by day you'll feel it, the shift, the strength, the rising sense that you are living life on your terms, with discipline, intention, and deep peace. And remember this, greatness doesn't come all at once. It's forged slowly in the fire of daily decisions. You are already enough. You are already becoming. You are already powerful beyond measure. So step forward. Own your path. And walk through your life like someone who knows their worth, because you do. Thank you for joining us on this journey today. If this message resonated with you, if even one principle struck a chord, then keep the momentum going. Revisit this video. Share it with someone who needs it. Until next time, stay strong, stay grounded, and remember, every day is a new opportunity to live wisely, fully, and without apology.